Sace.
I'm Ivan, and this is No Decaf.
How you feeling, fam?
I'm actually feeling kind of great. I'm feeling
hear.
great. Like, I'm feeling really good.
That's good to hear. I mean, it might
How are you feeling?
Good. It's gonna change with this first thing we have to talk about.
Yeah,
It
well,
almost feels like you have to get it out the way just because of how sad it is, but
it does feel that way. It kind of like sours the mood a bit. But I don't think I've learned to, at least for one of the people, because we all adore him and know him, like, not so well because we didn't even know that this was happening to him. But if you guys are unaware, Black Panther, along with a couple others, passed away these last couple of days, and we wanted to kind of pay our respects. So Cliff Robinson played for the Portland Trail Blazers in the 90s. All-star, was a really good player, really good dude. And you might know him. You might not know him by face, but you know him because during their finals appearances, Michael Jordan, during the shrug, after he hit the 6 3-pointer, I think, if I'm not mistaken, during the first half, that he shrugs and was like, yo, I'm hitting him today, I guess. The 6 3-pointer was made on top of Cliff Robertson. And it's kind of infamously known for that, for being part of the shrug, but we wanted to pay our respects. He passed away at the age of 53. Reason for him passing away, we aren't aware. They haven't really they haven't given out that information, but we're sending our prayers and our condolences to his family and friends, and let's hope that his transition is a clean one, and and he carries on, and that energy is moved to the next plane of existence. If you believe in that sort of thing, I believe it too. It's just a natural science thing. But along with him, David Thompson, very legendary coach for the Hoyas, for the Georgetown Hoyas. Like, this man's resume by itself speaks volumes, because almost every single great big man, at least of the 90s, was coached by this dude. Like, it's incredible. You have Patrick Ewing, you have Dikembe Mutombo, and you have Alonzo Mourning. All three of them were coached by him. And then probably his greatest player that he's ever coached being Allen Iverson. I know Allen Iverson right now is probably destroyed. He shouted him out during his Hall of Fame speech. That's how great of a coach this guy was. And it's sad, but at 78, if I'm not mistaken, was his age, he transitioned, and again, prayers and condolences to his family. It's kind of like, it's incredible because, at least to his point, 78 is you don't ever want to see somebody pass by, but 78 is a year to pass away. Like, it is that time frame. If you're around the 80 to 100 range and you pass, like, I'd be like, okay, his life was, he was full of life. Like, he lived a long time. And then so prayers and condolences to David Thompson and his family, and Allen Iverson and the whole Georgetown community. And then finally, we lost Black Panther Chadwick Boseman. This one hurt. This one hurt you a lot more than it hurt me. It's almost insane to me, because what's shocking to me was the fact that he did all these movies and was
yeah, I mean, the list is out there, right? Of all the movies he did
while
while fighting.
Like 10 movies, and he turned while he was fighting with grade 3 cancer, colon cancer.
Wasn't it stage 4?
I said grade 3. No, stage 3.
Oh, stage 3.
And then it's stage 4 within this year, and then he it proceeded to basically leave us. He's our Black Panther. He is everything that we wanted in a Black Panther. He was honorable. Look, like, all the way up into the end, just didn't really talk much about it. They didn't really allude to the fact that he was dying. He went and visited kids suffering from cancer, and it never came out that he was suffering himself. Like, he was under that circumstance, under that disease.
Which also, we're going to say great things about him, and we know how we feel about him, but it just speaks greatly of his family and the people who were surrounding him in these last years, that this didn't get out.
Facts.
Like, very well done. It's sad that we're even talking about this, but yeah, man, just this one was they all hurt. And if it's funny, because every time something like this happens, I feel like I can't get any more hurt. Like when Nib passed, it was like a left hook that you just weren't expecting from your blinds. You just weren't expecting, and it crushed. Remember how we feel? Remember when we got the news? And then Kobe, and
Kobe hurt the most.
And then when Kobe passed, it's like, oh, now this is a new low. This hurts. And then Chadwick Boseman died, which I would never, as much of a fan as I am of him, I never thought that it would hurt this much. But it hurt more not getting the news. What hurt was knowing that he was fighting this, what feels like alone, just because he never spoke about it. It was a silent battle for him, even though his family probably knew, most likely knew. It was very it just spoke. It made him look. It basically propelled him to legend status for me. Like, I already admired him, but now it's just something else. And I don't mean to give somebody their flowers after they pass away, which is something that unfortunately we do as a people.
It's a human type of thing.
But this man, if there was ever somebody to immortalize, it's Chadwick Boseman. Hard worker, fighter,
extremely hard worker.
The happiness he put into other people, just an all around stand up guy. This is one man that we should immortalize. This is I feel like also as human beings, we give somebody their flowers and we celebrate their life right in the moment when they pass, when they pass away, and then there's like the time frame where it doesn't really get spoken about. We don't remember him. And then like coming anniversary of the 5th year, 10th year of his passing, then we want to celebrate again. I don't think it should be like that with Chadwick Boseman. I think this is a man that needs to be immortalized forever.
I think Disney should put a statue of him in front of Disney World.
I agree 100%.
In Orlando.
I think we were talking about yesterday how Whoopi Goldberg was asking them to actually build a whole Wakanda theme park, which would be amazing. Shout out to Whoopi Goldberg, man.
The problem with
I love Whoopi Goldberg. I just wanted us to get that out the way. I really love Whoopi Goldberg.
She's awesome. The problem with making a theme park is that if the theme park isn't because the theme park has to be managed. Yeah. A statue could just be made one time, and that's a cost that you eat, and that's.
They were also petitioning for a statue, not to cut you off, in his hometown, I believe.
They could do that too. They could do that too. I think
feel
Disney
like Disney would also. If all three things could get done, a statue in his hometown, a statue at Disney, and a Wakanda theme park, all three things. Oh yeah,
that would be awesome. That would be
amazing.
The issue with
is
that
Disney going to go through with it is a different story.
The thing with the Wakanda theme park, I think people would ride the high. Because it's like almost like a sense of euphoria when somebody passes and like oh my God, we're remembering their life. And it's almost to the point where we are actually like, we're gonna ride that high and it's gonna be great. But there comes a point where people will inevitably move on, and if they don't do it right, because again, I think Disney is smart enough to make an awesome theme park where everybody would love to keep on going and like explore it and just find out all the secrets and do all that, like all that jazz. Yeah, I think they'll do an awesome job. But as like on top of that, they might, if they don't do it properly, if they just do it to like kind of like cash in on his on him not being with us anymore.
Yeah.
If they just do it to cash in, there's gonna be a part where that theme park was just like a cash grab and nobody's longer going, so it's no longer viable. So instead of a statue with his memory, we have a Wakanda theme park that will last like what, maybe 5 to 10 years, and then people will forget that. No, I
get you.
So that's why I petition more for a statue like right in front of like the Disney World entrance. Like that's what I would do. Like just have a statue right next to where it says "Welcome to Disney World."
That would be so amazing. Or once again, a theme or like a whole part of the park dedicated to Wakanda would be amazing. What Ivan is saying is true. If they're doing it for profit, I believe it's true. Mm-hmm. If they
of course they're gonna look at it for profit.
If they actually, that's
businesses are businesses. They're cutthroat like that.
But if they actually maybe just put some effort into it and try, I think people would go. And it goes back to what I'm saying. If we actually try to remember this man, immortalize him, and just, I mean, people loved that movie. People loved it, but just focusing on Black Panther right now, because we're talking about Disney, mm-hmm. People loved that movie, like really loved that movie. I think a Wakanda theme park would If they did it right, obviously, if they did it right, if they took care of it, if they didn't let it decay over time, I think they could find a way to make it fun, to make it memorable, to honor him while also making money.
Definitely. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, David Thompson, and Cliff Robinson, and
Rest in
anybody
peace
else.
to a king. Absolutely.
And anybody else who lost their lives that we're just not aware of. That just because you're not a celebrity doesn't mean that we're not sending our prayers and our condolences to everybody who's suffering out there right now. Alrighty. Friday, new music.
The ones we spoke about on last episode, Jaden and
Jade
disrespect, other music came out, but
correct.
I think the ones we were most excited about were Jaden and The Lox.
Do you want to start off with the good or start off with the bad?
So wait a second. So there's bad here.
Okay, let me not say bad, but it's not what I thought.
It is what I thought. I think I know what you're gonna get into, and I'm just gonna jump ahead and say it is what I thought. And this is me just assuming that we're talking about the same thing. It is what I thought. Let's start with the good.
Okay,
then.
so
even though for me it's all good, but okay, let's start with the real good.
So The Lox.
Yeah.
Probably the best constructed album out of 2020 to be released 2020. There's not a single track there that you feel is out of place. Well, besides the R&B records that are kind of like
no, and even that what's
dirty.
It's not necessarily that it's out of place. I guess it is. Well, not out of place. It's just not expected. Out of place sounds kind of.
No, it's expected. I just didn't expect him to sound like that. Because Jadakiss has always been one to have great R&B records. So to have The Lox try R&B records, who also has R&B records with people like Brandy, and we're going to get to Brandy and Monica later on. But the fact that they had those songs in there, T-Pain is there. There's this Oswin Benjamin, if I'm not mistaken. He had that was one of the best ones. There's a couple of songs on there that are they're good. I just didn't expect them because the way that the album flows, it flows so well, and it's just so. I hate having to use words like cohesive, because I think everybody uses words like cohesive, but it just sounded so well, and it was so street and bars, and not saying that the R&B songs don't have the bars, but it was just they were changing the vibe a bit. But like I said, those street records, it was, if I'm not mistaken, it's 14 songs. It was 13 or 14 songs, and 10 of them are just exactly what you expect from The Lox. Bars, street shit, game, just a lot of just great New York shit happening on this album. And then my favorite record was the DMX one. The Oswin Benjamin is one of my favorite songs, but the DMX one was dope. The first 4 songs are all hard. They're all hard. They're all really, really dope songs. And it's just, if you're born in New York City, if you know that vibe, if you know that street shit, it's just lyrical. It's not really trying to go too lyrical miracle, but it's just great raps. At the end of the day, that's what it is. That album is really, really well constructed. It's really well made, well produced. They sound amazing. Even DMX, I was like, holy shit, look at DMX.
This album got me excited, man. This might be my new favorite album. I knew what I was getting into. It's The Lox.
Conversation, right?
Huh?
We just had this conversation about best album of the year.
I knew what I was getting into. Once again, it's The Lox, but I didn't think I was gonna like so many songs. That's what's left me impressed. I don't know if it's exciting because that's what I'm looking for. There's multiple ways that people look at rapping and rhyming, right? Some people look at rap as an innate skill you're born with that you can maybe polish. Some people maybe look at it as a craft that you can hone over time, practice. I don't care what side of the conversation you fall on. It's impressive to see these men rap like this after years of rapping. It's not like, they took a break and now it's like the rhymes are weak or anything like that. They're doing it. You hear them rapping, it's like nothing has changed. These men have been rapping since the 90s for us. I just only mentioned the 90s because that's when we're 90s babies. It's so exciting to hear them rapping like this. I love this album. And I didn't expect to say that. I thought I was going to come in here and say, yo, this is a really good album. Once again, it's The Lox.
But it's just
Oh
really good.
boy, am I impressed. Wow. It makes me sad because I feel like not a lot of people are going to feel this way. I wish everybody would feel this way. Because I do love this album, but...
If you're from New York and you don't feel this way, then you kind of trash.
This is really good, man. If you're listening to this, go and you haven't heard that Lox album, Living Off Experience, go listen to that. Like, stop this and go listen to that and then come back to this.
Or if you're like a real hip-hop fan and you just love that, you love like all...
That energy, that vibe.
Like all-encompassing. If you're like one of these hip-hop fans that just loves all of hip-hop, like just loves like you easily find yourself listening to some East Side shit, just to some West Side shit, to some Southern shit. Like if you can move like that, like some people's ears aren't built for that. If you like that, go listen to the album. It is just it's New York.
I'm proud of them. I'm really proud of them.
It's awesome. It was a really good album. Now the bad.
Here we go.
Jaden Smith. Jaden Smith released, number one, let's preface our comments. Let's cop please, I guess. Jaden Smith in his last 2 albums has been really good in my opinion. Sire and Eris are both really, really good albums. Now, he just released Cool Tapes Volume 3. And I'm underwhelmed. I'm not really feeling it.
It's not that the music is bad. It's just...
You're saying that, not me.
Here's what I did. I had to, since when I saw halfway through that I was like, okay, and it's funny because last week I came in here. Was it last week? Yeah, last week I came in here and I said, this sounds promising. And it did at first. And I heard the second half and I completed it. And then I tried to put it into maybe a category where I saw myself listening to it. And the only thing I can come up with is when you're with your girl, have it in the background, not necessarily anything romantic, when you go to the beach, in the car maybe. There's a lovey-doveyness to this, a mushy vibe somewhere in there. And I think that's really the only place where you feel okay with playing this. It's once again, it was to be expected by just looking at the cover, by judging it by its cover. I mean,
that's the bad part, that you could judge it by its cover.
It's right on the nose.
It's not bad. Some people are gonna find this to be awesome. Like they're gonna be like, "Wow, I really do like this," because it's just
very summer vibes.
Yeah,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with doing like trying something different, or like trying something new. My issue with it is I am a big fan of his other type shit. When he's rapping and like he's doing his like godly Eden shit, like, because if you listen to both of Eris and Sire, he starts off with these very kind of Garden of Eden type shit going on at the start with these like Willow is singing in the background and it sounds majestic and sounds forbidden and the Bible's involved, and there's a lot of really dope shit that he puts into his music. This was just like, oh, I'm gonna make a bunch of summer records and release them.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree. It's like a bunch of cool, like just really like my vibe. Yeah, it's just like I'm not very summery right now. Number one, we're going right into fall. Give me some fall records. Give me some Halloween shit. And it was just that. And it's a cool album for those of you who are looking for summer vibes, which I don't know why you would, because we're right in September already. But if you like summer vibes, listen to Cool Tapes Volume 3. If not...
Also, I didn't like the fact that he didn't really get into how he felt about seeing August walk around his house all day. Should have at least mentioned. The word entanglement should have been in this album.
Yo, Jaden needed diss August. If Will ain't gonna diss August, Jaden need to diss him.
Somebody needs to diss him.
I think Jaden wins.
Well, yeah, because August is not really a rapper. August sings.
I mean, there's a fine line. Like, I think R&B dudes could get into a toxic bag because you really can't come back.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you this. I think R&B dudes rap better than some of the rap dudes can sing.
Oh, of course. I think that's obvious. I think that's a given. But it's just it's hard because August could just say one line and it's kind of like, oh my God, and like I'll be like, yo, I fucked your mom.
That's wild.
That is wild. You can't come back from
somebody
that.
Say some shit like that.
That shit is crazy, dog. Like, oh my God. fam. But I do think that Jaden Smith is very, 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 very talented. He is awesome. I like him when he's rapping. I don't like him on this cool vibe shit. Or when he's doing like the young shit too. So shout out to Jaden. Shout out to The Lox. That was the music that was released on Friday. Shout out to anybody who dropped it as well. And we're just missing you guys because sadly you're not on our radar. But no hard feelings. Alrighty. Verzuz Brandy versus Monica. It was a pleasure. It really was. It was delightful is the word.
It was good to watch. No, but in all honesty, I had such a good time watching that. I didn't keep score. I was like, fuck the score.
Yeah.
This is just fun. I had a really good time last night watching that.
I love them both for totally different reasons.
Me too.
And it's amazing to me the fact that Jesus Christ, Monica still looks good even.
Okay, that's not the bag I thought we were gonna get into, but that's fine.
Yo, oh my God,
Go ahead.
I was just admiring, getting on my creepy old man vibes. Just like, you're looking like a snack.
This might be the actual last episode I do with you.
I'm sick and tired of you saying that there's last episodes.
But back to the singing, they still got it. They definitely got it.
Jesus Christ. Brandy can harmonize and do things with her voice that I've never seen before. Like I find it hard when other women try to do what Brandy does. Brandy's amazing. And then Monica's amazing as well too, but it's like, Lord have mercy.
I didn't expect to have this much fun watching it.
I didn't
think
expect
it was gonna be this good. It was really good.
There was a lot of songs there that I was like,
well, the thing is that's not really our thing. That we're not
super heavy.
Yeah, like R&B. It's mostly not to be like misogynistic or anything, but usually when it's a man singing,
that's always gonna be the issue.
When a girl's singing about how her man cheated on her, that's not really something we can relate to. So
that's facts. That's facts. So it gets a little hard, and we try our best, especially when the song's good, because The Boy's Mind is about the boy's mind. And
I got a theory about that song, but we'll get into it later. It's not really a theory, just a story I have to tell you.
Departed. I guess I came in late because maybe they had played Departed already.
I think you probably did come in late.
We came
both
in
of
a
us
little
did,
late.
I came a little late too. Pause.
And it's just, pause. But it was just that.
It was just really good seeing them. I love that Brandy looks like a girl you could just kick back with. She looks like she's one of the homegirls.
Yeah.
Like she's the homie. That's what she looks like. She's just having a good time. It's funny because
having fun
through the screen, not being there, you can kind of feel her energy and her vibes.
Yeah.
All that positivity. Brandy, shout out to you. I love seeing shit like that.
Monica looks as elegant as hell. Like Monica look. Jesus Christ.
Listen, that's the second time we get into this back. I'm gonna help you out. You're gonna get in trouble.
I'm not gonna get in trouble. I am single. I can say whatever I want.
Monica did look nice though. She really did. Monica, something that stood out to me besides obviously the music. The music was great. The singing was great. The vibes were great.
Mm-hmm.
But Monica shared a story that surprised me. She was it wasn't a story. She was just saying that she reached out to Usher to do a song together. They have a song together, but they reached out to do another one, and Usher said no. You don't say no to Monica. It's what I'm trying to get to. Well, no, it doesn't matter. You don't say no to Monica. There's two things you can say to Monica. You're allowed to say two things to Monica. Yes.
And maybe?
And if you want to maybe test the waters a little bit, you can say okay. I know this because one time she was conversating with Brandy and she pointed at me and said, "The boy is mine." And I said okay. She didn't like that. She expected me to just say full on yes.
Number one, when that song was released, you were like 6 years old.
So you're just going to call me a lion for all our fans? All right, that's all right.
I'm calling you're decaffing right now. You're decaffing.
My bad. No, but in all seriousness, though.
It was a great show.
It really was.
It was longer than expected. Because boy, was long. Like the whole entire YouTube video right now is 3 hours.
I don't know if you caught when she played Slow Jam. Speaking about Usher, when she played Slow Jam with Usher, when Monica did, the way she presented it, she was talking about duets, and I think Brandy thought that she was going to play The Boy Is Mine, and she looked at her like you could tell by the way she was looking, she's like, I'm not ready. No, now's not the time.
Yeah, because they knew that.
Like, give it a minute, sis.
Everybody knew that they were gonna play The Boy's Mind. Like, if you didn't know that they were gonna play The Boy's Mind at the like to finish off the show, then you got problems.
On the TL. Just The Boy's Mind. I'm like, they're gonna save it. Like, it's not obvious that they're gonna save it for last,
right? That's their biggest. That's probably their biggest record. Like, both like
1.2 million people.
Yeah, 1.2
watching.
million people are watching at one point. Shout out to Swiss and Timbaland.
Shout out to Swiss and Timbaland.
They're doing a great
and shout out to
this.
Just to finish off. Shout out to Brandy and Monica, 2 queens. I had a great time watching. I'm assuming the rest of just everybody else who was watching had a great time watching. I had a lot of fun, man. Really good.
2 goddesses. Like, you don't get to be that creative.
They were in their seats just vibing, singing.
It was amazing. It was amazing, and especially coming from fans that don't know their whole catalog the way that maybe other people would.
Just hearing them sing, by the way. Like, do you ever hear somebody sing so good that you kind of just, damn, I wish I could sing, but you can't, so you just go do some other shit? Like, you just start rapping a verse because that's what you can do.
Yeah.
I think I just started rapping a random little. I felt so bad I just started rapping a random Lil Wayne verse.
And speaking of Lil Wayne, that sounds. Speaking of Lil Wayne, No Ceilings was released on all DSPs last Friday. And it was part of the albums that we were going to talk about. The reason being is because we saved it because there's a tremendous Lil Wayne conversation to be had. Because number one, like, before we go ahead and get into it, the No Ceilings mixtape isn't one of his best mixtapes, in my opinion. There's a lot of really good records on that mixtape.
Yeah, but he has better mixtapes, though.
But he has better mixtapes. I love the Dedication series. That's where all his, if I'm not mistaken, his best material is at. It's, who would Lil Wayne be a versus? Like, this is the conversation. Who is Lil Wayne's peers if we were to do a versus with Wayne?
That's not an easy question to answer. I mean,
I can think of 5 right now.
Oh, please enlighten me.
Lil Wayne would have to go up against Drake, being his son. And if you guys don't believe Drake to be his son, I don't know what to tell you guys. Lil Wayne would have to go up against Drake. His catalog doesn't match well with Jay-Z's.
I was gonna say Kanye. Nothing. Just to that point,
Kanye would be a good one. I think Kanye,
but I don't think it matches that well to Kanye's either.
Why?
I think Jay-Z and Kanye have a better chance of doing verses.
I think you're full of shit.
I don't know. I don't see a versus with.
I think Jay-Z and Snoop match well. Jay-Z and Snoop match well.
Jay-Z and Snoop do match well.
Kanye and Nas might have a better what's it called? Because I don't. There's few people like Jay and Snoop. Like, DMX and Nas would have been a better
versus.
A better versus to me. There's just catalogs. There's catalogs and then there's catalogs. Jay-Z has a catalog. Snoop has a catalog.
But doesn't Lil Wayne?
Lil Wayne does have, like, Lil Wayne owns an era. So, but as much as Lil Wayne owns an era, Lollipop comes on, it's a point. The Got Money with T-Pain. It's a point.
Mr. Carter's a point.
Mr. Carter's a point. No, Mr. Carter might not be a point. He might not even play Mr. Carter. Get your shine on as a point.
Mr. Carter's not a point.
I love Mr. Carter, but I don't think he's playing it during what's it called?
Actually, that's a good point. You're right.
We love Mr. Carter.
What about a Millie?
A Millie's a point. A Millie's a point. Fireman's a point.
I don't think Fireman's a point.
You don't think Fireman's a point?
I love Fireman, but I don't think he's playing Fireman. Wayne won't play Fireman.
6 foot, 7 foot.
Hold on. Time out. We're way too all over the place. Let's go back to the original point we were trying to make, which is who would be a good pairing for verses.
Because that's also the thing. Matchups.
I just need somebody.
Styles make matchups. I mean, styles make
But the
fights.
thing is, I don't want to put somebody who maybe makes similar music but doesn't have the extensive catalog. I don't want to put somebody who has similar music because it's just too obvious that they're gonna lose. Lil Wayne is a hard person to beat in this. Lil Wayne. I mean, I can't think of anybody who's a good match.
Drake is Kanye and Wayne's baby. If you were to make a baby, it would be Kanye and Drake. I mean, Kanye and Wayne had a baby, and it was Drake. That's the way I see it. This is just my brain. Like, this is just how I.
But you see, here's my problem. I think when you say he's Lil Wayne's son, I think you're right in that he got put on. This is the man that he kind of owes it to, right?
No, I think also in style as well.
There in that aspect, I would say he's more Kanye's son.
I think he's a mixture of both. Because early on, he sounded like Wayne.
So you were
then he was transitioning into Kanye.
You would split it down 50-50 then. You're saying that he's 50% Wayne, 50% Ye. I think it would be more of a 70-30 thing.
Where he's more Kanye than Wayne?
Yes. And that's, by the way, that's more before. Now you got to say that he's like 30 Kanye, 30 Wayne, and like 40 Jamaican.
Yeah. And he remembers he's Canadian sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
It's just jokes.
Don't write a pretty ass song about us. I'm not gonna feel good about it.
Pretty ass song.
You know how much
dissing
it would
us.
suck that for Drake to make a song dissing you, but it's a good song, so you kind of got to vibe out to it.
Yeah.
Hey, this song's about me.
The thing is that whenever Drake raps, he reminds me of Wayne.
I think that would happen to me, but
early on,
early on. Especially, it's funny because when they did Ransom together, it was like, oh my God, who is this kid? Well, we knew who he was, but for people, I'm assuming it was like, who is this kid? And he kind of sounds like Wayne.
Yeah, people forget that that Drake was on Degrassi, on the noggin. Oh my God. But back to the original conversation. Wayne doesn't have a lot of peers, but in terms of 5, and it's funny because I said, "Oh, I can name 5 right now," and then I thought about it. And I couldn't name 5.
The problem with Wayne is that the few people that are in that realm, I put above him, like Hove, right?
Hove would be above,
and then anybody else, it's under him. It's like he's kind of there's somebody out there. There has to be somebody out there we're not thinking of.
M and Wayne.
I don't know.
M is another one with a catalog.
Absolutely.
With a K.
Actually, you know what? I think that might work. That might work.
M and Wayne might
here's what
work.
It looks like, right? It looks like there's like 4 or 5 people up top that are gods, right? Mm-hmm. Somewhere in between is Wayne and maybe like 2 or maybe not even 2, maybe like 1 other person, and under that is like again like 4 or 5 people. It's like that midsection is really skinny. There's not that many people there like that you can compare with him.
My issue is that there's not that many people with a, say it with me, catalog. There's really not that many people with that type of catalog.
He's not. I mean, he says it all the time, but he really isn't.
He's in a weird space because I don't deem Wayne to be. And Lil Wayne's top 5 for me.
He's top 5 for me too.
It's Lil Wayne. I would. People like to put Drake in the top 5. Like Diddy came out. And he's like, "Yo, you're top 5," and I was like, "Diddy, slow down." Not because Drake hasn't earned it.
Yeah, but maybe he's not top 5 for you, but I definitely think there's a lot of people that have Drake in the top 5.
The issue is that if you go,
I think that you say that to somebody else and they're looking at you the same way, that they'd be like, "Are you stupid?" Yes, he is.
If you go, Jay-Z, Nas, Lil Wayne, Eminem, and maybe Drake would be number 5. But then you get into the whole iconic era, RIP, Biggie, Pac. Like you get into that.
We'll keep it with people that are still alive, though.
Pun.
That makes it
Pun
easier.
doesn't get brought up enough. I feel so bad.
Pun does not get brought up enough.
It's hard to come up with a matchup for Lil Wayne.
We're going off. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
It's really hard to get a matchup for Lil Wayne.
A good one. No, but
that's the thing. It's a good one. Matchup. Like a good matchup.
Once again, I feel like you can name a whole bunch of names, but deep down inside you know they're gonna lose.
Rick Ross versus Lil Wayne's catalog. Catalog. Catalog.
And that's no disrespect to Ross. I love Ross. I'm just
T.I. versus Lil Wayne. Or 50 versus Lil Wayne. And again, every single name that I just named aren't on Lil Wayne's level. Like I said, Lil Wayne's top 5. But we're not talking about top 5 rapping. We're talking about catalog.
All these people you just named are up there, though.
Oh no, of
They're
course,
not-
of course.
maybe
They
I
would
need
be
to put that
top
up there
20. They
because
would be top
Ross,
20.
T.I. and 50 are 3 names you have to respect.
And all have tremendous catalogs. That's really hard.
I'm stumped.
It's really hard to come up with a matchup for one. Like even the Snoop and DMX one, I wasn't.
But you know what? That being said, there's been a couple of verses where we think we know how it's gonna go down, and it takes a complete left.
But it's okay. So it used
So
to.
we could be wrong. Maybe there is somebody out there who could give Wayne more than a run for his money. We're just not.
But at rapping though, that's the problem. And we're not gonna keep on going, or we're not gonna keep on running around in circles in this topic.
But now that we're on Wayne, when did you know? Yeah, you know what I mean. When did you know? When did you hear Wayne? Because I can think back to listening to Project Chick and thinking, I was like 11 rapping along to Project Chick, and I was like, I don't know, because you remember this is my early years.
Yeah,
I remember thinking, I don't know who this guy is. He's probably no more than maybe 5 years older than me. I'm calling him a guy like if he's a grown man. I don't know who this man is, but I like him. He's nice, and I'm like 11. Nice. But that's not to me when I said to myself, Lil Wayne is just
Lil Wayne's different.
Lil Wayne's
Some lightning struck somewhere, and Lil Wayne became God tier. Lil Wayne was walking one day, and the rock hit him in the head, and he was like, "Fam, I'm nice." He had some great ice cream. He tried Ben and Jerry's for the first time.
Come on, give it to me. Give me the verse that lets you know.
I always go to the Taking Over. DJ Khaled.
Everybody and their moms, sisters, cousins, brother, husband knows that verse.
I am the beast. Feed me rappers.
Husband, but it's okay. You could be gay. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah,
I am
everybody
the beast.
knows that verse. Everybody knows that verse.
Feed me rappers or feed me beats.
I remember walking around high school and just listening to.
I was in middle school listening to everybody know that verse by heart.
But the verse that it's not the verse necessarily that let me know, but the verse that everybody was really like when I was in high school, just rapping along to it, including me, was the verse from Canon. I think that's the verse that kind of said to me,
"One hand on my money, one hand on my buddy." That's that AK-47 making the neighborhood love me. But it's like birds, you can hear them bitches humming.
I think listen, if you're going to rap Lil Wayne, you rap it right.
You got a weak stomach. No, I'm sick. I don't spit. I vomit.
Enough.
I can't do his voice.
But yeah, that's the verse for me. I was like, this guy's different. And it's just the passion that just random people would have rapping along to this verse. I'd be like, people love this verse.
Yeah, he went on. And then after that, he did 9mm. He did the verse on that. He would then go on to do, according to the timeline, because it's really like the sketch. I always thought that Taking Over came before the Canon verse, and then you told me that the Canon verse came before.
That's how for some reason that's how I feel it happened.
Yeah.
One thing you have to, I think I might have mentioned this before. One thing you have to understand about us is that our memory is shit. We don't remember shit half the time. Sometimes we just say things and then we got to listen back and be like, was that right? Did we say that right? And then when we go do the research that we could have sworn we had done already, we were wrong because we forget.
And it happens. It happens. But that's the only problem with that kind of like timeline that we and then you look at Google and looking for Google, you just get more confused because people tell you.
Yeah, their record keeping is not good when you go like 10 years back.
Yeah.
From that point back down in time, like into the 90s, obviously.
You look
the
up
80s. The timeline
where
is just
Taking
really
Over
weird.
came out and it says 2015. I was like, what?
That's wrong.
That's super wrong, yo. If I'm in middle school, it was like 2006, 2007.
But yeah, man, long story short, it's just Wayne is something else.
Yeah, Wayne's a complete
It made me happy seeing No Ceilings trending. People were talking about it.
I hope that propels them to actually release the dedications. Like dedication 1, 2, and 3. Release them on DSPs and I'm a jam out. Also, the standout track to No Ceilings is the Kobe Bryant track. If you don't remember that song, you missed out on a great summer. That was a great summer. I don't remember the summer in particular, but it should
have been 2009 summer.
Should have been 2009?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
which was a good summer.
It was a great summer. Lil Wayne was on fire.
Still on fire, yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Lil Wayne's awesome.
It's like you don't find the words, right?
Yeah, like it's hard, and still in
my
my head,
and these kids, they don't know. The kids like the I feel like people born maybe 2001, 2002 around there up, they don't know. They don't get it. They hear people talk about it, and maybe they'll go back and give it a try and be like, actually,
their favorite rappers are Lil Wayne's kids.
Yes.
So like if you listen to Lil Baby, that's
they'll go back and listen and be like, okay, this is nice. I can get with this, but they won't give it the respect. And
but I think that's a natural like progression of humanity. Like that's what we naturally do.
When I started listening to rap, when I really got into hip hop, Biggie had passed 5 years prior, about give or take maybe 4. And I respect Biggie like I love Biggie. So that's not always true. Maybe, but then maybe
but
we're
that's
just different.
But that's different because Biggie's sound still. Because if Biggie died in '96, if Biggie died in '96 and you started listening to hip hop 4 years after, that would be 2000.
Yeah,
Biggie's sound was still like it's still hit even in the 2000s. The fact that he died made it just like amplified it a bit. It's different now. Like try to go listen to some Big Daddy Kane, some Sugar Hill Gang. Try to listen to any of these older dudes.
Listen, like once again, I don't know why you're talking like this when me and you have entire playlist 30 to 40 strong songs strong in our phones full of old music from the 80s and 90s.
That is 100% correct. What I'm saying is that it's if you were to listen to it in the 2000s,
oh, okay, I think what you're trying to say is if somebody was to make songs now that sounded like that, we wouldn't really vibe.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of like it muddies the waters a bit because you always got to pay homage to like the people who came before. But like these kids, all they know about is Lil Durk. They know all the littles, Lil Durk. All that. I don't really know that many. Nice though, so. I don't really know that many littles.
And some of the littles are nice, like Uzi.
Yeah.
And like Dirk.
They got Tekka, Lil TJ. Like they got so many like little. They got so many littles to pick from. Like, and they're all Wayne's littles. Like they're all Wayne's kids. Lil Baby. They got Da Baby. They got
Listen, man. Long
Lil
story
Yachty.
short, if you're listening to this, go check out some Lil Wayne songs. Even if you know Lil Wayne, even if you're from
Lil Wayne's your favorite rapper's
at
favorite
some
rapper.
point you must have said Lil Wayne's your favorite rapper because I know I did.
Yeah,
there was a point. I mean, never over Jay-Z, but there was definitely a point when I was like, this man is my favorite. I started dressing like the man.
Yeah, Lil Wayne, his impact on hip hop is
just his hip hop on the whole, his influence on the whole culture is different.
Yeah,
it's different. It really is.
Like if you want to if you want to even get into that conversation, Lil Wayne might be the #1 most influential rapper in hip hop history. And it's not saying that that's, how do I say it? We're gushing for like 30 minutes now on Lil Wayne, but
he deserves it.
He does deserve it. But it's like if we go through the natural progression of things, Big Daddy Kane and Rakim influenced Jay-Z. And then Jay-Z and then Nas and all these rappers, Pac, Biggie, would influence the next generation of hip-hop lyricists. Eminem would come afterwards. Like it was just a lot of.
But that's all it's always. Yeah, it's
always been like that, right?
It's all influence.
So the issue is that as soon as you get to Lil Wayne, I think Lil Wayne has the most kids. Like he has at a time where social media was starting up, like I don't think there'll ever be another person more influential than Wayne.
He definitely had a big boom.
When he had the big boom,
the spike
Twitter I think Twitter was probably either a startup or starting up. MySpace was already a thing. Facebook was already out. There was a lot of, in 2009, 2007, 2008.
Yeah, but when Facebook got like...
they weren't super popping. They weren't super,
they were already out.
But social media was already a thing.
You're right.
Being at that point in time and then being considered the greatest rapper alive, I don't think even Jay-Z's best kids, like you can find Jay-Z's kids somewhere, like they're out there.
We don't mean his actual kids.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we know. Shout out to all his kids too. Like, shout out to Jade, Beyonce, and all the kids. But Lil Wayne he just birthed a whole entire.
He really did. Like you see people with tattoo on their faces now, and it's like, and the only thing I can think of is that's Wayne.
Wayne, you're Wayne. If your name starts off with a little, and you got tattoos all over your body, and tattoos on your face, you're a Wayne child. And that's not. Don't think of it as a negative. It's just the way it is. You grew up on Lil Wayne, and therefore your music has evolved from has been derived from
Their
Lil
style,
Wayne.
everything, style.
Yeah. And that's enough for Lil Wayne. So now,
Is it though? No, I'm just kidding. Who would you like to see on Verzuz? And we don't have to keep it. I know that it's mostly hip hop R&B. We don't have to keep it. Let's expand a little bit.
yeah, because that's what I want them to do. I want them to expand. Because originally it was Swiss and Timbaland beat battling each other.
Yeah.
So as producers, I would like to see the producers get into their bag and see what you could come up with on the fly.
So who would you like to see?
Kanye versus Pharrell would be a really good one.
That would be a really, really good
That
one.
would be a really good one. In terms of beat, because I don't think in terms of catalog.
I don't think Kanye's winning that.
In terms of catalog?
I think Pharrell's winning.
You think Pharrell's winning in terms of catalog?
I think so.
Against
yeah.
Kanye.
I think
Against
so.
Kanye, who arguably has 4 classic albums. The fact that I have to say arguably about that is crazy. Has 4 classic albums and then has 2 or 3 really good albums.
I don't know, man. It's let's say
I think Pharrell got bigger records.
If Kanye does win that, it won't be an easy win.
I could think of 3 automatic points when it comes to Pharrell. And they were all recent releases.
Go. Let's see how recent these were.
Oh, recent in terms of just like they were last decade. Well, anything could be last decade. That's a long. But Blurred Lines, Happy, and then the song with Daft Punk, Get Lucky. Those are all 3. Those are all 3, and all 3 of them are
those are really big.
those are
songs.
all 3 points right there. Then you get into the Snoop Dogg song. What is it called? The Pharrell and Snoop Dogg's Drop It Like It's Hot.
Yeah.
You get into Drop It Like It's Hot. You get into Grinding.
Oh, what a song.
Grinding.
That definitely takes me back.
Pharrell has more. Like I'm just.
No, he obviously has more, but it's just I just don't think Pharrell's an easy win for Kanye.
I don't think it's no. It would be a fight. It might go down as a tie. It would be a battle but like Kanye has a lot of early Jay-Z. Like Kanye worked on some of his shit.
I know.
Kanye worked on a lot of like Kanye was on and popping. Like what happens when Jesus Walks comes on?
Pharrell's taking an L.
Jesus Walks is an L.
For
Is a point. Is an L for Pharrell. It's a point. Jesus Walks is a point. Heartless is a point. Love Lockdown.
Do you think Through the Wire is a point? That's one of my
Through
favorite.
the Wire is a
that's
fucking
one
point.
Of my favorite Kanye
Through the
songs.
Wire is a point.
All right.
It's.
Who else? Give me somebody. Give me somebody.
But this is so juicy.
No, it is juicy, but I want to hear think because we can't just be stuck on Kanye and Pharrell for 30 minutes.
Why not?
That would be a great battle though.
It would be an excellent battle. But besides the producers, like we were talking, I would like to see a Metro Boomin. I would like to see Mike Will Made It. I would like to see a DJ Mustard. I would like to see a lot of. There's a lot more producers. We had a Boy Wonder and Hit Boy battle that I thought was pretty good. So if we could replicate that, I think that would be awesome. But in terms of just rappers, I want to see if somebody go up against Fat Joe. And Fat Joe, say what you will, he's on the opposite end of 50. Like the top 50 rappers, Fat Joe is somewhere around between somewhere around 25 and 50. Fat Joe's up there. And maybe he might be top 20. In terms of catalog, few people have a catalog that could go up against Fat Joe. And he would also match very well against 50. He would match very well against Ross. He would match very well against T.I. Again, there's certain categories, there's certain tiers, and Fat Joe doesn't get brought up enough in those types of tiers. Just like Biggie and Pac.
You're right, he doesn't.
And Pun doesn't get brought up enough with those two guys. But Fat Joe might have the upper hand on just records because his era, he proceeds eras. Like Fat Joe is early 90s. Early 90s. And he might even go back to like 89. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm just calling him an old man. But his goes back all the way to 89. His does early 90s, 2000s, and has had hit records in every decade. I don't think Ja Rule beats Fat Joe. Reason being is because the last big record that Ja Rule had was early 2000s.
Yeah.
Fat Joe
might win that.
Fat Joe released All the Way Up, I think it was, 3 or 4 years ago? And that was a charting record. Like, and Fat Joe's still out here. And nothing against Ja Rule. Like, we're just talking music here. But I don't think Ja Rule. Crap. Jadakiss might have a hard time with Jadakiss and Fab might have a hard time with Fat Joe. Not saying that they wouldn't win.
I don't know. Every time you bring up names, I'm trying to think. I visually, I try to really paint in my head how this battle would go.
Okay, not all these fights work. Not all of these, because there's so many different styles. Fat Joe has done the rapidy rap, like real bars, boom bap era type shit, and has also been part of the whole kind of lean back movement. Like you know what I'm saying. People who know hip hop know exactly what I'm saying. He's been part of, like, Fat Joe is old enough and has been part of so many different decades and eras that's what makes him hard to fight to go up against.
Taking it outside of hip hop, who would you like to see? Outside of R&B also, who would you like to see?
Outside of R&B also?
Because, for example, I wouldn't necessarily watch a Britney versus Christina. For example, I think that'd be a great matchup. I wouldn't necessarily go
I think Christina's
watch.
whooping that ass.
I don't think so.
I think Christina.
I like Christina more, but I don't
Christina.
think so.
No, not only do I like Christina more, but Christina has been out here, still has been doing her thing longer. It's the relevant kind of timeline. Christina's still out here dropping records. But Britney hasn't dropped a. When was the last Britney record?
Yeah, but you don't know that. You don't know that because we don't look for Britney's music. You can't say that because you don't know that.
Well,
Anyways, I'm here for.
I'll put it.
This shit's disgusting.
I don't mind seeing what's these people called? NSYNC versus Backstreet Boys. Imagine 10 people in one room. I don't think JT would do it. Speaking about JT, I'd like to see JT and Usher. I think that would be dope.
That'd be early 2000. They should do that.
They should do it.
They should do that. And they've been beefing since Justin Bieber decided to go with.
I think Usher would win, but I'm always gonna root for JT.
I mean, Justin versus Justin might be a good one too. Justin Bieber versus Justin Timberlake.
I wouldn't. I mean,
I wouldn't be hyped for it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be hyped, but it might be a good. What's it called?
Nah, but I want to see JT.
Some mayonnaise
I want to see
mayhem?
JT versus Usher. By the way, I get to call him JT. We have that kind of relationship.
Jesus Christ.
That's the second time you called me a liar in this episode, man. I'm not gonna go for a third.
You lied.
I get to call him JT because we cool like that. But yeah, I would love to see JT, Justin Timberlake and Usher.
Backstreet Boys versus NSYNC might be good.
That would just be crazy. Just the optics of it, just 10 people in one room battling it out.
That'd be nuts. And then like they remember these moves? Like, fam, you better sit your old ass down. Gonna break a hip. Oh man,
they're not that
I think the Backstreet Boys are more gangster. I think they give the NSYNC the hands.
Maybe
they'll lose in terms of fisticuffs.
Who else?
There's producers. There's rock stars.
I'm just trying to think outside of hip hop and rap and like R&B, but I really want to see Diddy versus Dame. I know you're not here for that one, but that's a good one. They're not gonna rap. They're not gonna rap.
They're just gonna dance.
Because if anything, only Diddy. I've never really heard Dame rap. I've only heard Diddy rap. But this is not a rap thing.
Dame should have some bars somewhere.
They're just gonna see that the camera's on, and you're gonna hand them each a bottle of champagne. We'll see who dances better with the bottle. Part of me says when it comes to champagne bottle dancing, Dame wins.
Alrighty, and now to finish off the show, the boys. The boys. So if you've been living under a rock, we've talked about in the last 3 episodes, probably we've mentioned it more than probably Amazon has.
Yeah. Listen,
Lot
Amazon,
promo.
you need to cut the check.
Cut the check.
There's like one listener.
Yeah. It's okay. So the boys season 2 is released September 4th. Today's the 1st. September 4th, which would be Friday. Season 2 is going to be out and popping on Amazon Prime.
And we're excited.
And we're super
here
excited.
for it.
So we decided to do a little recap on the events of the first season. So we've killed off a couple of soups. We've established characters.
By the way, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, some things might get said here. This isn't going to be too long, I promise, but just so you know.
Yeah, just so you are 100% aware of it. But in season 1, they established characters. They've established the villains. They established the corporation that's basically manufacturing superheroes. They've established a kind of like a beacon of hope in terms of superheroes being on Starlight. And now we have characters. Now we have that they've not only made a super terrorist to kind of like expand, because now they because the corporation itself is it's locked to the United States where only soups are available, but now they want to expand. So now they're putting out what do they say? They're making super terrorists. They're giving other people abroad superpowers. And it's obviously Huey, the Butcher, the Frenchman. It's their job to obviously stop them. So now what we're expecting from this new season. I want to know what Homeboy, the Noirs, the dude with the black mask.
Yeah,
and the
making a
black.
big
I
deal
want to know.
about that,
Yeah, I want to know about him. I want to know what's exactly gonna happen with Homelander's kid, with Benny the Butcher. Is it Benny? I don't think it's Benny.
I think isn't it Billy?
The Billy the Butcher. Shout out to Benny the Butcher too. But I thought that would be your favorite song on the Lox album.
It's
the one with
them.
Benny the Butcher and West Side Gun.
Yeah. The thing is that the first 4
are so good.
like if the first 4 would have been like a little EP, I would have been excited still, because it's just bang, bang, bang. It gets you ready. I'm not saying that the rest of the albums obviously not like that. There's a bit of a dip, but 4 songs back to back that are amazing.
But it's back to
the boys.
Back to the boys. So I'm expecting that. I'm expecting them to give us a little bit more. Like they have this whole girl. She's a white supremacist, and her name's Stormfront.
This is gonna be really interesting.
It's gonna be.
I'm excited about this. This is my favorite superhero show.
Yeah, it's. I've always liked it because the concept of it is just different.
It's different, but I'm gonna throw the word realistic out there. I believe that in this age of social media, that's how superheroes would be. They would be very self-absorbed, and there'd be more celebrity than hero.
Yeah, at least when you have a company that's basically monetizing the fuck out of them and just manufacturing them. How are you just grabbing little kids from pregnant? Oh, he just popped up. All right, cool.
Today's your lucky day.
Yeah. So it's Compound V. It's cool. I hope that we get to see more of that. I hope that they expand on certain characters. I hope Starlight is still on our side. I hope that I think it's going to be a really good show. I really want to have the conversation after this. Probably, I don't think we'll be able to do it next Friday, but probably the Friday after that, about Umbrella Academy Season 2 versus The Boys Season 2.
I mean, no. So the next episode is Saturday. Yeah, so that gives us time to maybe
yeah,
watch
'cause we'll
2
have
episodes or 3.
Yeah,
we can't go through
exactly.
whole season and then be ready.
But we could give our thoughts on the first 2 episodes or the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Well, my brother.
Great show as always.
Ace your monster. Ivan the Beast.
Tag team champions.
It was great. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you guys for listening, tuning in. If you guys want to go ahead, it's all on Spotify. It's all on Anchor. All of the podcast is on. It's basically we're expanding it into other DSPs as well, other podcast channels. You can subscribe to us on YouTube channel. We are going to start splitting some of these segments off and releasing them as individual little tiny clips so you guys can listen to them if you're not interested in all the topics. But we implore you guys, please hit the like button if you guys enjoyed the talk. Please subscribe to the channel, support us, and as always, you guys.
And tell your friends, because we do this for y'all.
So good.
All right, man. Love, peace, and chicken grease.